Out of the Blue, proudly brought to you by San Remo. We're family.
Another surprise!
Out of the blue.
You want that with fries?
Out of the blue. Come with me across the sea on a barbecue. We're gonna cook for you.
Nothing but blue skies!
Out of the blue.
You want some chili with those fries?
Out of the blue.
Hi and welcome to another episode of Out of the Blue. Today's program comes from historic Port Adelaide. Now, like many other South Australians, I thought I knew the port pretty well. In fact, I married a girl from Port Adelaide.
Settlers to Australia in general. Her only port of call was Port Adelaide, built in 1864 as a passenger liner in Sutherland in England.
What's its future? What 10 years down the track? What do you think?
At the moment, preservation with looking at restoration, but it's money.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
and that's what we're trying to do, is raise money to get her off. Virtually total restoration eventually.
What do you call that, with the masts?
Oh yeah, she'll have all her rigging and bar spit, boom spit out the front. She'll look like a real ship.
Given the ship is already 150 years old, it's still in remarkable condition. It's the world's oldest composite clipper ship, wooden hull built on iron frames. It was purpose-built to carry passengers between England and Adelaide, a journey she made 23 times.
We're standing in the male quarters. They had their bunks lined out here, where the rest of the decking that we're standing on is the second-class passenger area.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Over for families?
yeah,
in the
families in the middle, and single females down the bow. They had the soft ride, the guys had the rough ride. This area was decked out with dormitory type accommodation with a large dining area right down through the centre. Individual portholes, what you could probably see, the square ones were put in
I
later.
can feel the boat rocking already. I don't know. After the break, I catch up with my old mate Peachy to do some fishing and go for a cruise on the Port Princess. Today I'm up for a spot of fishing, and I've joined my old mate Graham Peachy, because he's got a lot of local knowledge. We're in a terrific spot on Garden Island, and this is a part of the Port River Dolphin Trail, a self-guided tour around the Port Adelaide region. And sure enough, we see a few dolphins. But it's time to settle into some serious fishing. Well, looks like Peachy's on the one. Very small one though.
So essentially we're in a nursery with the mangroves and everything, and that's basically what's living here. That's a King George whiting, and he wouldn't be more than, say, 6 months old. So we'll let him go back and he can go bigger. This is what we call colloquially a weedy whiting, and it's only called a weedy whiting because of the general similarity to a whiting. It's actually a member, I think, of the wrasse family. Not terribly good to eat, not big enough anyway, so back he goes as well.
Well, I've got two baits. I've got octopus and gulwa cockles. And the cockle is the choice of the little critters down there. I'm slightly embarrassed by this catch.
Hey, Peachy's on the one. Well, another one will be thrown back, and it's a puffer fish.
We've got nothing here.
Well, we've only this big. However, like I said, it's a risk of fishing in a nursery, but I do have a plan B, Michael.
What?
Which involves you, that rod, and spinning. Come with me.
Righto. Oh, I got a bit of spare time.
So this is Peachy's plan B, down to the beach.
We've got a bit of shallow water and a bit of weed out there. The hope is we're going to flick a lure out, retrieve, it'll look like an injured fish, and if there's any salmon around, Arapus trutter, they'll go for the lure and we'll catch one.
Arabus trutter, here we come.
A very different technique from fishing down the boardwalk. But hey, Peachy's the local around here. Not that we're exactly hauling them in.
Well, Peachy, plan B didn't work.
Yeah, sorry about that, Michael.
I just want to thank you for a wonderful morning.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure dealing with you.
I have to go and catch a boat.
Happy cruising, mate.
You enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks, mate. See ya. See ya.
Fortunately, there's more than fishing down at the port. And so today I'm joining a group of people aboard the Dolphin Princess. Our skipper is Brian Thomas, and we're headed out from the Queen's Wharf to Port Adelaide and down the Port River for a 90-minute cruise.
I'm up here with Skipper Brian in the control area, or the cockpit. Brian, this isn't the job, is it? You don't tell me it is.
It's great fun. I enjoy all the people, meet people from all over the world. There's always something happening, different boating going around, children coming on the boat, drive the boat, and the people I meet. Yeah, so I don't get tired of it.
What about the dolphins? We've seen a few today.
Yeah, we have seen a few today, but we can have a day when we go out one time, get a lot of dolphins, and come out a couple of hours later and have any dolphins. But on an average, I'd say 95% of the time we see dolphins.
The other thing I've noticed, the kids are just fascinated by being able to see you steer the boat and operate it. You've even got a spare steering wheel for the kids.
Yeah, I've got a spare steering wheel. Look at this out the front here, give us a thumbs up. Yeah, the children love it.
Soon after we set off, we go past Dock 1, where the city of Adelaide is being preserved. She's a great sight. Then there's the sail training ship, one and all, and the ketch bailey. But cruising up the river is a reminder that this is still very much a working port. The freighters load wheat and minerals. There's a big fuel storage, shipyards, a yacht basin, and over there, the Torrens Island Power Station. And this is where Australia's air warfare destroyers are being assembled, right next to the facility for our submarines. Meanwhile, the people aboard are enjoying the cruise, plenty to see and plenty to eat. And it's a very pleasant way to spend an afternoon. Still to come on Out of the Blue, Adam turns some fresh spring vegetables into a tantalising pasta dish.
Good olive oil.
Hi, Adam.
Michael, how are we?
You all right? What are we cooking today?
Well, today, Michael, we're going to do a little spring vegetable pasta number. So
That is timely because, of course, you know Port Adelaide, the busiest port in South Australia all those years ago. The next busiest port was Port Wakefield. Because with Port Adelaide, though, the immigrants would come into Port Adelaide, head up to Campbelltown and Paradise, as we know it today, and grow veggies.
Campbelltown and all those areas was my stomping ground when I was a kid. That's where I grew up. All right. So we got our spring veg here. We're using San Remo Instant Spaghetti.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get to that a little bit later on. Cauliflower, zucchini, broccoli, sprouts, Brussels sprouts, and some asparagus. Okay.
Now, all of those you can eat raw.
Yeah, of course.
Or slightly cooked.
In this case, we're going to blanch them off in the water.
I think kids should eat more raw vegetables these days. Yeah, I really do.
Michael, some salt into the water.
Yep.
We're going to cook it for about 4 minutes.
Okay.
Then what we're going to do is take our San Remo instant pasta.
No, I've never used that.
You never used it?
Never used it.
Well, let me tell you, you should. This spaghetti is a little bit thinner than your standard spag, all right? Cooks in about, says, 8 minutes, but 6 minutes. You want to cook it nice and al dente. And I'll teach you how to cook this pasta perfect in a minute. We're going to take our pasta, all right? I bet you ain't seen this one before, all the years of cooking, and we're going to split it in half.
Yes.
All right, so we split the pasta, Michael, and then we're going to add it to the pan with the veg and cook it all together.
Oh, and doesn't that smell beautiful at the moment? All these fresh vegetables cooking up. Look at the colour.
Have a look at that. So, into the pan with the spaghetti.
So, a half a packet, but broken in half.
Broken in half.
Okay.
So you're getting more volume there, yeah? Then just use your tongs ever so gently, just to make sure the pasta is evenly spread throughout the pan so it cooks nice and even. Now, 6 minutes, okay? 6 minutes is all it's going to take.
Not long, is it?
So all that. But what happens, Michael, is the flavour from all those wonderful veg, the spaghetti takes it on, okay? And this is a vegetarian heaven until I make the sauce that just coats it at the end.
Now, Adam, what about the peas? When do they go in?
Well, the peas we're using frozen today, Michael, so they're going to go in right at the last minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right now.
Righto.
Thank you very much. All right, in they go. Give them a stir through.
Yep.
Now, check the pasta. All right, come on. You give that. Which it's hot.
All right, that is beautiful.
All right, you happy?
Al dente.
Al dente. Can I have the strainer, please?
Strainers,
because
please.
we're going to strain this off. Okay, using the one pot. Okay, so that's going to keep nice and hot. It's nice and al dente, like I said.
It sort of looks like a vegetable soup, doesn't it?
Leave that there. We can sit it there.
Yeah. Okay, now, olive oil.
Yeah, good olive oil into the pan. Now, this is the basis of our sauce here. Garlic, chilli, anchovies.
Anchovies are good for it.
All right, fry that off, Michael. Look, make sure you take it on and off the heat so you don't burn your garlic.
Yes.
Nice and fragrant. In, pasta comes out. Getting ready?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah. In that goes.
Oh, water and all. You did
Water
the
and
whole
all.
lot.
Look at me.
Yep.
Don't worry about this.
No.
Ready? So what happens is...
Wouldn't you love to do that at home? You'd get killed for that, wouldn't you?
I can show you. If I can teach Michael, I can teach you all. Don't worry.
That's exactly right.
A little bit of salt, not too much,
No.
because we have anchovies that are salty. Pepper.
Yep.
Now what happens is all that beautiful water from the vegetables and the pasta,
Yes.
it will cling onto the oil and emulsifies and starts to coat the pasta. And that's our sauce. Off with the heat, good amount of parsley. So you see the springtime veg happening here, mate?
Yep.
Look at that. Michael, olive oil, please. You know how it goes, just a little splash. Alrighty.
I'd go for it.
Grab the tongs, please.
Tongs.
We'll put that there. And Michael, look at this. Spring veggies with your
That
instant
is
spaghetti.
quite something.
To finish, this is up to yourself, Michael. Look, I like my cheese, you know that. Just a little
Again,
sprinkle
you've got
of cheese.
pecorino cheese.
No, parmesan there.
there's
A
parmesan
little bit of
here.
parmesan.
Yep, okay.
Always good. Bit of cracked black pepper.
Yes.
There it is, San Remo Instant Spaghetti with spring vegetables. Well, how about that recipe Adam put together? He's not bad, is he? But look, while I was walking around Port Adelaide, I found the Visitor Information Centre. They've got a heap of brochures, but a couple I picked up. The Walk the Port brochure, which shows you all the different walks around the place, and they are all interesting, different buildings and streets. But this is the one I'm sort of fairly interested in, the Port Adelaide Heritage Pub Trail. Now, after the break, I'm going to visit a few pubs. Welcome back to Port Adelaide. You know, this is a great little brochure here, the Heritage Pub Trail. You can imagine all those years ago, there would be a pub on probably every street corner, and thankfully today there's some beauties left, like the Lighthouse Hotel behind me. Now, since 1857, it's had about 5 name changes. And there is, according to this brochure, a resident ghost. And his name is Hamish. Listen to this. Hamish is the pub's resident ghost and has been playing tricks on patrons for many, many years. So I don't think I'll go there for lunch. I'll move on to the next one. You can pick up a copy of the Heritage Pub Trail and other walks from the Port Adelaide Visitors Information Centre. Meanwhile, I've moved on to the first commercial inn. It was established in 1841 and is the longest surviving hotel licence in Port Adelaide. It's good to see that it's still going strong. The Runway Hotel goes back to 1856 and of course it was opposite the Port Adelaide Railway Station. Off the train and into the pub. It was once the registered office of the Painters and Dockers Union. The Newmarket is another of the beautifully preserved pubs in the port that remind us of another era. In 1879 it was built as a market and then was licensed in 1889 when the cafeteria was converted into a bar. You know, it's interesting, it doesn't seem to matter which way you go in the port, there is a pub or there was a pub, and you can imagine what it must have been like when the ships had come in, the sailors, the people in commerce, they'd all use these pubs. And this one behind me was the Britannia in 1850, and then in 1898 it was totally rebuilt. And it's one of those beautiful Victorian buildings that only a few are left in the port. And you know, all this walking around, I've become not only a bit thirsty, but a bit hungry. So I think I'll slide in and have a beautiful meal and a bevy. Right opposite the wharves, no wonder it was popular with seafarers and waterside workers. It looks like it's still pretty popular today. Wow, have a look at this menu. Pork sausages with mashed potato. Oh, chicken or beef schnitzel. Steak of the day. Specials board. Barramundi. Oh, absolutely superb. But up the top there, look at it. Soup of the day, seafood chowder. That's for me.
Excuse me, Michael.
Oh, Di.
Here's your seafood chowder.
Amazing.
I was hoping you were going to have my favourite, the barramundi stack special.
Well, it was a bit.
But you know, it's not a bad choice.
Di, that is amazing. It's wonderful cob of bread. Thank you so much.
Enjoy.
Thanks for having us too.
Absolute pleasure. Happy to
And-
have you.
Well, that's our program for today from Port Adelaide. We've had a terrific time, as you can see. I'm just about to hop into this beautiful abyss, but you can join us on Facebook or on our website, outofthebluetv.com. We'll see you next time. Oh, yummo. Oh, look at that.
So it's essentially this is a nursery, and that's.
Out of the Blue, proudly brought to you by San Remo. We're family.